Do you ever feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? Like you're constantly worrying about other people's problems, their choices, and their feelings, to the point where it's draining your own happiness? If that sounds like you, then you're exactly where you need to be. Today, I am going to share 2 powerful stories that will fundamentally change how you see your role in other people's lives. These aren't just tales. They are lessons that can free you from the invisible burden of suffering for others. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear might just be the key to reclaiming your own peace of mind. Let's start with our first story. Imagine a wise old master and his young, eager apprentice walking along a winding mountain path. The apprentice was a compassionate soul, but he was always troubled. He'd see a farmer with a poor harvest and feel the farmer's despair. He'd see a child trip and fall, and he'd feel the sting of the scrape himself. His heart was so open that he absorbed the pain of everyone he met. One day, he confessed to his master, "Master, I don't understand. I want to help everyone, but their suffering becomes my own. My heart feels so heavy all the time. How can I find peace when the world is so full of pain?" The master, with a gentle smile, didn't answer right away. Instead, he led the apprentice to a rushing river. He pointed to a large, smooth stone on the riverbank. "Pick up that stone," he instructed. The apprentice, though confused, did as he was told. The stone was heavy, and he strained to hold it. "Now," the master said, "carry this stone with you as we continue our journey." For the rest of the day, the apprentice lugged the heavy stone. His arms ached, his bike hurt, and every step was a struggle. He couldn't enjoy the beautiful scenery or the feel of the sun on his skin. All his energy was focused on carrying the stone. By evening, they reached a clearing. The apprentice was exhausted and dropped his stone with a loud thud. "Master," he panted, "I can't carry this anymore. It's too heavy. It's draining all my strength." The master sat down beside him and said, "The suffering of others is like that stone. You see it, you feel a duty to pick it up, and you try to carry it for them. You think by holding their pain, you are helping them. But look at you. Are you in any condition to help anyone right now? You're exhausted. You can't even walk properly yourself." The master continued, "Your compassion is a beautiful gift, but you are using it incorrectly. You are not meant to carry their stone. You are meant to show them how to put it down. You can offer them a hand. You can teach them better ways to walk the path. You can even help them find a lighter load, but you cannot carry their burden for them. Each person must walk their own path and carry their own stone. By trying to carry it for them, you not only exhaust yourself, but you also rob them of their own strength and their own lessons to learn." The apprentice looked at the stone, then at his own aching hands, and finally understood. He had been trying to carry everyone's river stone, and in doing so, he had forgotten how to walk his own path freely. This story is so powerful because it gives us a clear visual how many of us are carrying stones that don't belong to us. We worry about our friends' bad relationship, our siblings' career choices, our parents' health. We take on their anxiety, their stress, their sadness, believing it's our duty. But as the master teaches, this doesn't help. It just creates 2 people who are burdened instead of one. Your role is not to carry their weight, but to be a supportive presence, a guide who can offer wisdom and a helping hand, but who ultimately trusts them to handle their own journey. True compassion isn't about absorbing another's pain. It's about empowering them to deal with it themselves. Now, let's move to our second story, which looks at this from a slightly different angle. There was once a young woman who was an incredibly gifted gardener. Her garden was a paradise, bursting with the most vibrant flowers and luscious fruits. People would come from all over just to marvel at it, but the woman was never truly happy. Why? Because she spent all her time worrying about her neighbor's garden. Her neighbor wasn't a very skilled gardener. His patch was full of weeds, his plants were wilting, and nothing seemed to grow right. The woman would spend hours every day standing at the fence, wringing her hands. "Oh, he's not watering enough," she'd sigh. "He's planted those roses in the shade. They'll never bloom." She would yell advice over the fence, leave books on his doorstep, and even sneak over at night to pull a few weeds, hoping he wouldn't notice. All her energy, her focus, Her thoughts were on her neighbor's failing garden. And what happened to her own? Slowly, but surely, it began to suffer. A patch of weeds started growing in a corner she'd neglected. Her prize-winning roses started to droop because she forgot to prune them. The vibrant colors began to fade, all while she was obsessing over the garden next door. One afternoon, her neighbor came over. He wasn't upset, just curious. He said, "I see you looking at my garden a lot. It's a mess, I know. I'm just not very good at this. But you know, your garden. It used to be the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It inspired me to even try to plant my own. Lately, though, it doesn't seem as bright." The woman was stunned. In her desperate attempt to fix his garden, she had let her own masterpiece wither. She had been so focused on his weeds that she didn't see the ones creeping into her own life. She realized her mistake. She couldn't force her neighbor's seeds to sprout. She couldn't make his sun shine brighter or his rain fall softer. All she could do was tend to her own garden, to make it so beautiful, so vibrant, and so full of life that it would inspire him. The best way to help him was not to try and manage his garden for him, but to be a shining example of what a garden could be. From that day on, she refocused all her energy on her own plants. Her garden once again became a paradise, and inspired by its beauty, her neighbor started asking for advice, learning from her. And slowly, bit by bit, his own garden began to improve. These two stories teach us the same core lesson in different ways. You are not responsible for carrying another person's burdens, nor are you responsible for tending their garden. Your primary responsibility is to yourself, to your own peace, your own growth, and your own happiness. This isn't selfish, it's essential. When you are strong, peaceful, and joyful, you become a beacon of light. You become the master who can guide, not carry. You become the beautiful garden that inspires, not the anxious neighbor who nags. Think about it in your own life. When you're emotionally drained from worrying about someone else, what good are you to them? You offer anxious advice, you get frustrated, and you might even become resentful. But when you are centered and at peace, you can offer calm, wise counsel. You can listen without judgment. You can be a source of strength, not a fellow victim of their circumstances. The greatest gift you can give to the people you care about is to be a healthy, happy, and whole person yourself. So, the next time you feel yourself starting to suffer for someone else, I want you to ask yourself two questions. First, am I picking up a stone that isn't mine to carry? And second, am I neglecting my own garden to worry about my neighbor's weeds? Recognize that your job is to walk your own path with grace and to tend to your own garden with love. By doing so, you don't abandon the people you care about. Instead, you become the most powerful force for good in their lives, a stable, inspiring presence that empowers them to find their own strength. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly hope these stories have offered you a new perspective and a sense of relief. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps it reach more people who might need to hear it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you don't miss our future videos designed to help you live a more peaceful and empowered life. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which story did you connect with more? Until next time, take care of your garden.